Welcome to the Ferguson TSM Digital Marketing Training with Jennifer Bagley and CM Web Group. We want to let everyone know that all lines will be muted to prevent any background noise. And today I'm very excited to introduce Jennifer Bagley as our speaker today.
Thank you, Miss Kathy Marshall. I appreciate it. And you guys, while we're muting everything, you guys still have an opportunity to ask questions. Kathy's going to be on with us throughout the presentation. There is a chat box in your GoToMeeting control panel over on the right-hand side. If you have questions anytime throughout the presentation, go ahead and put those in, and we'll make sure and address those before we jump off of here. That being said, logistics out of the way. First, I'd like to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know things are getting busy again. Lots of dealer meetings and appointments and trying to get everything back in gear as the weather and seasons change. And for everyone that I got to see out in California and Ontario last week, I really appreciate the opportunity to see you and to have you back. So for this session, obviously at the Ontario meeting, there's not a lot of time. So we're going to slow it down a little bit, and I'm going to really concentrate on kind of the details of the program, successes that we've had so far, and what do you guys do to get engaged? How do you get dealers to participate? How do you even start those conversations? That being said, we're going to use the same presentation, but I'm not going to stay on it. I'm going to jump off, show you some different reports, places to go, things to see, and that way it's a little bit more interactive. So from 2016, when we first started, 2017, the titles We Became #1. And as we get to the SEO results and the traffic results, you will get to see why we're saying that. First and foremost, we definitely started 2016 hot and heavy. There were 14 dealers enrolled in the program, and 2017 slowed down a little bit. There were 7 new dealers enrolled in the program. And you guys will have to tell me what you think the reasons are. So if you've got ideas right now or things that we can do better to help you guys enroll more dealers into the program, please let me know. As we go through the presentation, you will see why it's important for your dealers to participate. Now, our job jointly is to convince them why it's important for them to join. It's important to your bottom line and theirs. So first off, some of the dealers, just highlighting some of the new sites that went live or are in production in 2017. We had Air Repair, Elite Air Services, GM Sphere, AC Plus, Millar, and Banner Air, Greer's Banner Air. When it boils down to it, you guys know what it's like to be a consumer and to look at a site and be nervous when you get there or uncomfortable. For your dealers, one of the things that's most important for you to tackle or to touch base on is just an overview, a glance at their website. And you guys can tell, for the most part, if it looks like something that is a major player in your area, or if it looks rookie or elementary or new, like they had a DIY moment, a do-it-yourself moment. The difference between the websites that come in to the program and what they turn into as they join, it's substantial. Every piece has careful consideration. The design, the layout, the structure, the call to actions, the things we focus on to attract consumers' attention, to get them to convert quicker, to make decisions faster. From the top of the website, the header area, to the navigation, call to action buttons through the body of the website all the way down to the footer, you'll notice that there's a very sophisticated and slick way that we go about designing the site to be able to convert any consumer that comes to the website for the first time. It also
Jennifer, I am sorry to interrupt, but your screen needs to be shared, and just wanted to notify you.
Well, that would absolutely help. Our broadcast didn't do it. All right, so you should be good to go now. So same thing on the design. On the right-hand side, you'll see a new design. Left-hand side, you'll see an existing site. And let me just show you what that looks like. I'm actually going to show you the design of the current website for GM Sphere, since this is the example. This is live. So right now, we don't have, their new website is in development. We're waiting for design approval on the final designs that have been submitted to them. But just so you get an idea of what consumers are looking at. And, you know, it doesn't take a specialist to be able to determine whether or not it's going to convert, whether or not it's going to produce new customers. Not just convert, but does it have the functionality, the development, the infrastructure to be able to even be an option when consumers are looking? I'll show you the difference. This is a live site. I love this site. It's not your traditional red, white, and blue, and it's got a real standout design and look to it. The feedback we've gotten or seen from consumers filling out forms, requests, as well as our own internal surveys has been really incredible. So just to kind of give you an overview of some of the fundamentals when we're designing these guys' sites. In the header area, they're going to have a section or a top-level navigation, things that are included when they enter the program that they do not have to pay for. We have a SARE calculator, an FAQ area, a troubleshooter, a terminology area. We also make sure that there's pages for financing, maintenance plans, just the fundamentals that need to be there for any consumer that's searching for a new system. When you get to the site, of course, you're going to have a phone number, bright, clean, and clear, somewhere in the top right-hand side of the website, the ability for an existing customer to schedule service or a new customer to request an estimate. If they provide 24-hour emergency service, we'll make that known. If they want to keep it a little lower on the site, we'll do that as well. We'll have a troubleshooting system. These guys in particular, we also put a notification that they speak Spanish as well. Now you'll notice as we transfer or travel through the site, no matter where we go on the website, one of the other things your clients get or your dealers get is an online CRM system. Now there is a lot of functionality that's in here. Typically when a dealer is first getting started, we'll turn on some of the simple elements, which is leave your details, share a document. But the longer the dealer's with us, the more they're able to take in and build into their business model. There's other functionality built into that, such as online scheduling, whether it's for sales or for technicians or dispatching. We also have a email marketing system built into it. We have a text messaging system built into it. Now, out of the gate, do they use everything? No, it's a little overwhelming when they first start with us. So we have to jointly help them get through the overwhelming, get over overwhelm, and get into a production and progress state. Other thing you'll notice is navigation is clean and clear. Now, most of the dealers, when they're coming to us, don't come with a lot of content. They just don't. It's not a lot of quality content. And as you guys have heard me say over and over again, you've got to have content in order to make these things truly, truly be able to perform. And this is mainly from a search engine standpoint. I don't think consumers care a lot, but search engines absolutely do. What you'll notice we've done this year, a little different than last year, is a part of our onboarding process, we find out what is everything that you guys want to sell. What does a dealer want to sell? So you'll notice here, whether it's air conditioning installation, replacement, service, repair, maintenance, inspections, tune-ups, I can keep going. Here's the thing. The way that we've outlined the content is essentially anything they have content for, you'll see that page is fully linked, and it's going to go to that page. So you'll notice here they only have content for 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, i.e. 4 services for air conditioning. Now, what do they need content for? Well, they need it for everything. What do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? So they've got a lot of work to do still. Even though they get started in the plan and there are some of the things they need, you're never technically done with the website. You're never done with your marketing plan. They should constantly be adding content, whether they're writing it themselves or they're hiring our team or another company to be able to write that content. But they really need to have 1 page of content per service they want to sell in order to have something indexable by Google. As you go through each top level page, you'll notice we've done the same thing. So they may only have the 4 primary pages for heating, but there is a full list of all of the things they do. So if a consumer comes to the site, they can absolutely see those things as well. Something as simple as who we serve, showing that you do residential, commercial, multifamily, rural, depending on where you're at. In addition to that, a lot of these guys offer a lot of other services they may or may not have content for. So you'll see that there's an Our Services area where we're literally drilling down into who we serve into a deeper area, our services in the top level, and then other products and additional services that they may also sell on top of heating and air conditioning or the base pages they have. You'll notice as we cruise through the interior of the site, we're trying to help them build their reviews. So adding something such as a promotion for leaving us a love note on Google is really going to help. You'll also know that we're always going to have this contact us button, and we're always going to have a schedule service request and estimate or some kind of a call to action that stays sticky with that site no matter where they travel. If they don't have a maintenance plan, a formal maintenance plan, we'll at least try and get them started with grabbing information for those consumers who are interested in one, so it doesn't look like they just don't have a maintenance program. And then of course we're here, as well as we've got a team on staff that can help them prepare or create a maintenance plan that can help them increase or start generating residual income if they haven't thought about that or they've been scared to do that so far. Same thing with financing options. You know, we try and get these guys to share with us who their financing options are with, who they're signed up with. If they don't have it, we're still going to put the pages on there and make sure that they're collecting that information. We have to showcase to the consumer that that is available. And hopefully it'll give them a little push to get their stuff together and get those financing options in place. As you go through the site, you'll notice that from a design standpoint, every one of the sites, while they have some similarities in the functionality and design schema to them, they're all independently unique. So we're really trying to improve and enhance the brand of the dealer, which is very important to them when you guys are talking to them. And in addition, of course, feature and showcase day and night products. They are incredibly focused on their own brand. Rightfully so. As a business owner, I get that. So for you guys, if you don't have a list of the websites that we have live built, you should have that list. And you guys can request that list. I'll give you an email address at the end of the presentation. You can request to get a list. We'll shoot you a list. And that way, if you're talking to a dealer and there's not a lot of interest, but you want to showcase a handful of sites and say, this is what it would look like. You know, these are the different variations or different designs, and show them a handful so they can see that they're really customized for the dealer's brand. And then, yes, it also features day and night and the products as well. That's going to help put their mind at ease as far as thinking that they may be getting a manufacturer's website that doesn't have anything to do with their brand or is too generic. Other elements that are important, of course, we want to really highlight those things that are important to consumers: financing options, promotions, apply for financing. We also have some tools on the site that are a little more interactive, such as a SARE calculator. We'll outline the primary services in some way, shape, or form, have a little bit of an about area, featured manufacturer. Usually we're going to try and highlight if we have reviews available, positive reviews available. We'll try and make sure that there's something on there. If they've got a newsletter, we'll do the integration for the newsletter as well. And then you'll notice no matter where they are in the site, even if they're all the way down at the very bottom of the website, a consumer can decide and connect with them and do business with them no matter where they are on the website. So no one's ever going to be struggling to find contact information or try and request an appointment or submit details in order to get a quote request or someone to come out for service or an install, because the sites are designed to be able to convert regardless of where you are navigating the website. Now, as you look at other sites, it's not that easy. You'll notice once we go here, we have no call to actions, we have no contact information, we have no phone. It is a joy and a challenge to take some of these from kind of zero to hero, I should say. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of just a couple of the sites, so you can see the difference in what they get once they start working with us on a new website design. And as you can see with these 3 different examples, they all match the brand. there are some similarities. And the reason there's similarities is because we know what works, right? The more we do this, the more data we collect, the more information we have in each area, the more we know what we should do different. So every year our sites get better and better and better because the data tells us we need to make changes, and we'll never stop changing. It will always get better year over year over year. But from a branding standpoint, we really focus on trying to make sure we bring out the brand of the customer in addition to featuring the manufacturer. Social media, you guys, within the plan, they basically have an hour a month, okay? Is it enough to have a really robust social media plan? No, it's 15 minutes a week. However, because you're doing this as a group in a collaborative environment, this is the benefit you have with your dealers. You guys have a lot of pull and a lot of weight. We have the ability to design large sums of graphics and marketing images and simply rebrand them for the different dealers that are within the program. And they're not having to pay what they would normally pay for a social media marketing program. So our minimum is $100 a month if they weren't with us. That's $1,200 a year. You start doing the math. A website normally is $5,000. A social media program minimum, and it would be a lot less hours, and there would be no custom graphics and so forth. You know, you're looking at another $1,200, and content writing, you're looking at $100 a page. That's another $600. So as you start tallying up, what would a dealer invest if they went with any other company or they went with us directly, which they can't? In this environment, we're talking about pennies on the dollar as far as their investment to participate in the program and the results, the effort, the labor, the work of what comes out of it. So from a social media standpoint, it depends on the season. So if we're sitting in the middle of summer or winter, then you know, we're going to be talking about heating and air conditioning installation, emergency service and repair, and so forth. If we're sitting in the middle of spring and fall, depending on where they're located, we're going to be talking about maintenance and tune-ups and what was that? I can't remember what he called it. Something. Anyway, you know, it's going to depend on the season. Sometimes our content is going to be on the entertainment side. It's social. It's got to be entertaining. If it's not funny, people don't like it. They don't care. They don't care about your promotions. They truly don't actually care about HVAC. So you'll notice our social media designers are they're always trying to come up with things that are fun, because that's really what social media is. It's a place where people unwind. Yes, they get information, referrals, and so forth. They make decisions, but ultimately they're there because it's a pastime, and we got to make sure and keep them entertained. So whether it's babies or puppies or bunnies or whatever it is that has people click that like button, that's what we're trying to do. In addition, we'll do things that are more evocative as far as to evoke emotion. So it'll be family settings, family pictures. Sometimes we'll do promotional items, whether it's financing or a special promotion or 10% off for blank. Right now, of course, we've got clients in Florida, and we're doing a lot of things regarding the hurricane and everything that's going on. So your dealers have the ability to help us with customizing the messages or promotions or branding by submitting promotions on a regular basis. Now, do they do that? No. However, they can. They get a notice saying, hey, we'd love your feedback or ideas. Do you have anything happening in your neck of the woods that's you know, relevant right now? They can do that. So if a dealer is asking, you know, what if I want something that's more custom or more specific, absolutely they can share that information with us, and our designers will fit that into their design time. All right, the next solution that is included in the plan is marketing. Now, when I say marketing, I'm talking local. So these are local listings, and your dealer that enters into the program automatically gets 60 plus local business listing accounts. Now I'm just going to skip over a local business listing account, and let's go look at real-time data. So this was, I don't know when this report was, but let's go look at your data. So I'm only looking at day and night. I'm looking at all time. And I want you to see how they start with us. And you guys, if you ever need these reports, you know, it's definitely something we go over when we're doing strategy calls with your dealers that are interested in the program. But when we get these guys, I mean, they don't exist. Literally, they're flatlined when they come in. It takes a while for us to get them moving and motivated and starting to build and grow. And this is the really, you know, great part about this. These have nothing to do with your website. So just for day and night dealers that have been enrolled in the program, some of them have been for a year, some of them have been for less than that, some have only been months. We've generated over 2,000 phone calls, 4,035 website clicks, and just out of curiosity, this report I pulled for you last week, right? That's when we had the dealer meeting in Ontario. So as of last week, this same exact report had 782 get directions requests, 1,984 phone calls, and 3,900 website clicks. In less than a week, we're up over 796 get directions requests. Now we're over 2,066 phone calls, over 4,000 website clicks. You know, we have nowhere to go but up when these guys start. We can measure everything down to the calls. So our highest call day was at 9 a.m. We had 116 calls to just day and night dealers. And this is only from one of the local listings accounts. So you guys have 20 dealers that are fully integrated on our local listings right now. I think we have one that's still trying to get set up. What that means is we have 1,289 local listings live. We've done over 17,222 updates since they started, over 650 attribute changes, and here's another kicker, important element of the program. Part of what we do is monitoring these local listing sites, and I'll show you what they are, for people trying to snag them, scam them, take them. So there are other marketing agencies and companies that a great way for them to build their business is they go snag local listings. They'll use a dealer's name, address, and they'll put their phone number on it. So just to put things in perspective, since we started, we've had over 471 local listing accounts that have attempted to be snagged, and we have suppressed those listings. That's a big deal. The major deal is that these guys don't even know this exists. They don't know what goes on. And I'll tell you, it's not easy to teach them all of this stuff. And I don't think half of what we do they actually understand or know that we do it. But there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes that are literally making and breaking whether or not that phone rings their number or someone else's number, or whether or not that listing even shows up as an option when consumers are searching. I'm going to pull another report for you real quick. And just to give you an idea, so this is going to have a little bit more data in it. We've had over 89,000 views on search, 26,000 views on map. We've had over 196,000 unbranded queries. What that means is that a consumer does not know your dealer's name. It doesn't know the company name. It's doing a search for a search term such as air conditioning repair, air conditioning contractors, heating and air conditioning supplies, AC installation, heating and air conditioning, and so forth. These are the key phrases that are driving consumers, prospects, to view, click, call, request more information. And over 196,000 of them are unbranded queries. That means without this marketing, without the optimization, they would not show up. They wouldn't be an option. So this kind of gives you an idea when you can just look at the charts at a glance. when you're talking about local listings, just to give you some perspective on what that would normally cost them. Let's say that they went and they set up these 60 plus local listings themselves. They would be paying anywhere from $30 to $1,000 a month per listing provider, and all they're doing is paying for the subscription to the system. They would still have to hire someone to do the work or do the work themselves, which is all of these 17,000 attribute changes that cause the rankings to increase. So if all they did was subscribe to all these listings, all these different local listing sites, they would be substantially higher than their overall investment just to participate in the program. If they were coming and doing this with us in bulk outside of what you guys have negotiated in your bulk rates, they'd be paying $300 a month, minimum. That's for the base entry-level program. So just want to make sure it's clear as far as the value, and you can really, really see in every single chart, whether it's leads or conversions or views or clicks, nothing but up. Everything is going outstanding for these guys. Let me show you those listings. So really quick, this is just an example of some of the listings. So you'll see here everything from Bing and Facebook and Yellow Pages and Foursquare, City Search, Yahoo, Google My Business, Yelp, White Pages, Yellow Pages, all of these different sites. So we purchased these subscriptions in bulk, and that's how we're able to basically put bulk listings of dealers into different accounts without having to pay what you would normally pay if you wanted to go sign up for an account. So that's the difference. If you sign up for Bing's Google or Bing's listing versus Yahoo's listing or City Search's paid account, they're all different prices. So that's a huge win for them. All right. So that's local listings completely included in their account. 60 plus accounts, local listings, sites are included, plus all of the marketing and attribute changes and reporting and duplicate suppressions. And oh, by the way, we also monitor all of their reviews, and we send them real-time reviews notifications with the link to respond every time they get a review on every one of those sites. All right, you guys, so let's get to the fun stuff. This is my favorite, of course. Search engine optimization. Let's go through #1 page results. In 2016, we had 290 phrases on page 1. I pulled the report that I showed you guys last year in California, and we had generated 126 leads for those dealers participating by the time we had the same dealer event last year. Our 2017 goal, based on what's included in your plan, was 418 phrases to be on page 1 of Google. So all the dealers participating have a certain number of phrases depending on their plan, and I'll show you what those are. That is included in the plan. And we have had a little bit of time on our hands this summer. So that being said, we now have 4,545 page 1 results, meaning phrases: air conditioner repair in blank, air conditioning service in blank, heater repair in blank, furnace repair in blank. So all of those phrases, if you think about it, this doesn't mean a lot unless you think of what is a consumer searching for, where are they searching for it, and is your dealer an option? In this case, there are 4,544 different search requests from consumers where your dealer is an option. And there are 1,487 search requests from a potential prospect in the city your dealer is in where your dealer is the #1 option. So we have, I don't even know what the percentage is, but obviously we've beaten the goal or the plan extremely, and that's one thing you can always commit to, is we're always going to over deliver. So do they always understand it? Not necessarily. This is really new to them. All of the elements of this are really new, and they have no idea what's happening behind the scenes to make this happen. So it takes education, it takes, you know, partnership, communication, a lot of communication, and we have to educate them over time. But it also means we got to do a little bit of hand-holding when they get into the program and make sure they make it through that first year. That first year is the hardest for them because there are 101 moving pieces, and we've got to make sure that they're comfortable through the process. They don't get tied up in things that don't matter or have any relevance, and that they fully understand the program. And that's our job jointly. We need to work together to do that. Those net results have turned into 2,500 or 2,250 phone calls. That's only from Google Business Listing. That does not include the other 59 plus accounts that are in their local listings, because we can't track them all. A lot of them don't provide us with that data, but we do get the data, actual phone calls tracked from their Google Business Listing account, and of course they've got 59 other accounts producing leads. In addition to that, we've got recorded 5,368 web forms filled out. So if you remember when I showed you on this site, this form we can track. This form we can track. This form we can track. Every one of these web forms is tied into our CRM system, so it allows us to pull that data out there. There's no disputing it. We can track every single lead that comes in through any web form on any website. What that number does not include, at this time, we are not tracking the phone calls. So anytime somebody has called the number or clicked to call without filling out one of these forms, these numbers as far as lead generation don't represent those conversions. We can only show what we can track, and that's what we can track. But that's not bad, you guys. It's 21 dealers in the program. It's really not bad. These are extremely good numbers, especially if you look at where these dealers start with us when they first come in compared to where they're at now, and especially those ones sitting in here too. Next is 214,000 clicks to their websites. So if you look at traffic, I mean, the traffic growth on these guys' sites is tremendous. All of these things are heavily impacted by one primary thing, and that is their reviews. I'm going to actually show you the data sheet just because I want you to see how much data we track and manipulate and look at to be able to see, you know, where is this coming from. So one of the things that is a huge impact, this column right here is reviews, and I'm actually going to blow this up a little bit so you can see it better. There is a direct correlation between the number of reviews and the amount of leads and clicks and calls. So if I look at this one, for example, they've got one review, rates at a 5. We've only got 29 Google Business Listing forms and 68 lead forms. On the contrary, for this dealer, we have 102 reviews, average rating of 4.6, and we've generated 1,062 calls, 387 leads. So as you go through and you're having these conversations, it is incredibly important that in addition to the program, we've got to help these guys develop a formal process, a system for capturing reviews. This right here, I'm amazed that they've gotten what they've gotten, but I just want to show you. So they have 21 reviews on their page. Their average rating is 2.8. There's only been 14 forms filled out. So when we look at the gross leads and opportunities and calls that are coming for the dealers in the program, there is a heavily weighted result on those dealers that have a higher number in total quantity of reviews and a better average. So here you'll see only 16 people have called from Google, and that's because their Google business listing specifically says they've got 7 reviews, average rating is 3.6. We've only got 3.5 stars showing on there. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. So just so you guys are aware of that, that's again, that's a joint effort. We're going to try and educate them. You guys got to educate them. We got to push them through. Not every review site or system is the same. There's a bunch of hunk of junks out there that are not going to do what we need to get done. So when you get to the point where that's a conversation, please include us, and we'll help them walk through what does review acquisition mean, what kind of systems are out there, what are the best systems, how do they produce the best results, where do we need reviews. There's got to be logic in this. I'm not trying to send reviews out to every third-party site there is. I don't need all my reviews on Yelp or Angie's List or Home Advisor. I need reviews strategically scattered in 2 primary places, A, on their website, and B, on Google Business Listing. That's going to provide the most power, and it shows in the numbers. It becomes a math game. We don't have to argue math. It just is what it is. So from startup to number 1, just giving you the summary, and I know it was hard to see during the last presentation. So for 2016, there were 14 dealers participating. Total phrases on page 1 were 290, 126 leads. For 2017, we have a total. So there were 7 additional added. There's 21 dealers participating at this time. And total phrases on page 1 of Google, 4,545 leads. Phrases on page 1, total leads over 7,000. So as far as your increase, we had 7 additional dealers join the program. The increase in number of phrases on page 1 was over 4,200. The increase in total number of leads was over 7,000. That's what year 2 means. You guys, in year 1, we're spending a tremendous amount of time and energy on their website. A tremendous amount. Is their phone going to ring off the hook in year 1? No. Why? Because you have, a minimum of 2 to 3 months to have their website designed and built, and that's if they stay in contact and give us approvals and logins and passwords when we need them. If there's no crazy hiccups, they don't disappear. And then on top of that, you have all of the fixes and corrections, and we got to, kind of regain faith with Google that that website is credible. And if you can imagine, when we get these dealers in, the websites are not very credible most of the time. So we have a lot of back work to do, link building to do. We've got to make sure the reviews are set. We've got to reconnect everything. Just the bare minimum of finding or helping them find their logins and passwords, get access to all these accounts. They really struggle just being organized with the fundamentals of their business and their marketing and all these different websites and ownership and access and everything else. And that's something we're going to force them through the process. They don't love it, but we have to force them through the process. They've got to get organized. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So the plan, in a nutshell, on the right and the left side, I've got just a summary of what it includes. In reality, you guys know your target sales numbers, right? They've got to do so much in product sales for standard versus elite versus platinum, what's included in each level. This breaks it down for you. If you guys want a copy of this presentation, the video that we're doing right now, I'll absolutely be happy to send you the PowerPoint history, the links to the live websites so you have examples. We'll also make sure and send you this particular PowerPoint so you have that as well, including the recording after this. Just send us an email at the end and we'll make sure you get it. All right, so essentially this is it. Now let me ballpark this for you just so you understand. The dealer's investment, right, is 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, right? 3,000. Okay, you know what it is. I was trying to think of what the dealer investments are. Hey, it's 50% of the total. So if they were doing this on their own, you'd be at $5,000 minimum here, another $1,200 a year here, another $1,200 a year here, a refresh, essentially, when we get to year 3, so every 2 years, we redesign and develop the websites. We already have sites that are pre-committing. So we had a dealer call it, one of your dealers call, and they said, well, we want to start our refresh early. We're like, well, you're going to have to talk to your TSM. You guys got to commit to year 3. So we're getting them to commit in advance to year 3 to be able to even start that process of redesigning and developing their website. And that's because they get better and better every year. Having an online CRM system, you're looking at another $1,200 a year. Local listings, you're looking at $300 a month, 12, 24, $3,600 a year. Google Business Listing, another $1,200 a year. Facebook, another $1,200 a year. Twitter, a few $100 a year. So as you get down here, SEO, minimum SEO plans start at minimum like $300 a month, and then you got to pay for off-page link building and content and all of these things. You guys, these guys are getting a heck of a program. They are getting a straight workhorse for an extremely small investment on the dealer's behalf. Extremely small. The average number of resources it takes to put all this together is over 20 people, 20 different talents or expertise specialists that are necessary to be able to bring all these tiny pieces together. So, you know, be confident when you're pitching the program. Be confident in the value because it's there. They can't get this somewhere else. We had one of your guys' dealers that he was interested in the program and then he's not interested and he says, I can get this somewhere else. And to this day, he keeps calling and saying, well, you know, I might want to go with you guys. So he hasn't done anything because there's no way under the sun he can get an apples-to-apples program for what you guys are presenting. You guys are presenting the quan, the everything in a really simple and very robust program that really tackles the entire infrastructure of what a company has to have and should be doing digitally as far as the foundation goes. Now, should they do more? Absolutely. Should they add more phrases? Absolutely. Should they start tackling those things they're not doing yet? Absolutely. We did add something new this year, which we did not have last year. The Platinum Elite group that starts going forward, we're also going to be giving them the Nearby Now review system just because it has a huge, huge impact on their overall results as far as getting ranked in cities across all of the different areas that they want to service. So that's a huge one. That's a really, really big impact on our overall search rankings, the number of key phrases we can get ranked, the number of cities we can get ranked for, the number of leads that are generated, the number of reviews that come in. This is that's the big one. You know, if anybody wanted to add it, if they were in standard or elite and they wanted to add it, it's $300 a month, but it's included in platinum. So you guys, when, you know, I've talked a lot about what it would cost them to invest in this kind of a program. We're talking in the 30s plus thousands of dollars on an annual basis. Just for a minute, let's do the math just on what is it going to take them to recoup this investment. We got to get real, right? If they do 3 installations, let's have a low average price point of $4 to $5 grand. Let's say there's a 35% profit. They're done. Their investment is paid for the entire year. So in an entire year, if they have 3 installs come from their website or their digital marketing or their local listings or their social or search or any of those, 3 installs in 12 months pays for their entire investment, and everything else is profit. Everything else is profit. So again, it's just another thing, you guys. I really want you to be confident when you're talking to these dealers because they need it. They need it desperately. Do they understand all of it? No. Will they over time? Yes. They just have to maintain, you know, a smile on their face and be willing to go through the process. We do 99% of the work, and we only need them to participate, you know, here and there. It's in the beginning, it's a little more heavy. We need 3 or 4 different phone calls with them. And after that, we just need to have a strategy session with them. Hopefully, spring or fall would be great so that we can go over the results, see, show them this is what's working, you should do more of it. This is what's not working, you should reallocate it somewhere else. And it's not just what we're doing, but what are they spending money on that's not producing leads and opportunities? And then finally, what's next? What are you not doing yet that you should be doing? So it's simple. You guys just gotta get into it, and trust me, you know more than they do starting out. The best thing I can tell you is don't get too caught up in the details. You don't have to. Most of this stuff, there's a visual representation of whether it looks good or not. Glance at their website, Google their company name, see what comes up. Glance at their social media accounts, which you should do anyway, and have a conversation. You don't have to know it all. You just have to have the conversation. Half the time, dealers are happy that you bring it up. So I want to make this really, really easy for you guys to work with us this year and to get help. So how to get started. So here's how I would break it down. You've got a few different things you could do. You guys could already have a dealer you've been talking to that's interested in getting started. Send us an email and say, hey, this dealer's already interested. They heard you speak at the last dealer event, and they're ready to rock and roll because summer's over. Whatever that is. And we'll help you get going. In addition to that, let's say you guys are targeting new dealers you're trying to recruit. We can help you. So part of you guys hitting your sales goals, continuing to exceed your sales goals for day and night product sales, it means we got to acquire new dealers. We got to get them in the program. You guys got to get them, working with you, get those commitments out of the gate, and really be able to bring something different to the table. Make us part of the equation. You need something to talk to them about other than products, because I'll tell you they're not interested. That doesn't make them move. It doesn't make them change TSMs. It doesn't make them change to a new product. It doesn't make them rebrand their logos and their websites and their trucks and everything else. If you think of what it takes to be able to switch featured manufacturers, that's a lot of work. So this includes that, right? This includes everything. It includes a complete rebrand of everything that you need. And if you have a list, so let's say you guys do your research, right? You're out on Google, you're finding different dealers you guys want to tackle. I shouldn't say tackle. Well, it's football, so I'll say tackle, right? And you need some help. What can you bring to the table that's different? That's the list to send us. Send us the list of those dealers. Our team will go do the legwork for you. We'll go review their website, their search, their social, their local. We'll run a bunch of reports, and we'll send you a perfectly prepped and ready email that has all the reports attached to it that you can forward to your dealer or to the dealer you're trying to tackle with a note that just says, hey, I'm going to stop by your office later. This is something, I wanted to take a minute, do some research. I had my team pull together some reports. I think they have interesting information for you, and I'd love to have an opportunity to visit with you about how we can help you improve some of the things that are, not working for you right now. Day and Night's got an incredible program. It includes a complete transition and rebranding, as well as a marketing program you've never seen before. There is no manufacturer offering the same marketing program. That's what we're here to do. So whatever, you guys, I'm thinking off the cuff, but take those reports, print them off, and walk in. Or walk into the meeting, have a couple notes, highlights, and email the reports. You can do it right while you're sitting there so they can pull them up in their email. You just forward the email to them, and it's completely prepped and ready for everything that you need to go over with the dealer. So that's another easy way to be able to have our team do some of that heavy lifting for you, do the research, and have those reports ready when you walk in. If you have existing dealers and they're not cutting it, or existing dealers could be doing better, send a separate email to us and just let us know these are existing dealers, small, medium, and large. What are your initial thoughts? And our team will go through, again, do the research, pull together the reports, and send you over those reports with the highlighted list of some of the things you can and should talk to them about improving. And then we'll get you on a strategy call. So there's 4 ways you can get in touch with us. you can email us at ferguson@ciwebgroup.com or sales@ciwebgroup.com. Doesn't matter. Ferguson's great. You can remember that. Also, you guys can go to ciwebgroup.com/Ferguson-HVAC, and there's a web form on there if you want to submit your request through a web form. Great, you can do that, or give us a ring. You guys can give us a call. We'll set up time if you want to set up a strategy session with one of our sales reps. Absolutely feel free to do that as well. If you have a quick question or you need my help with something specific, you know, maybe it's something we've talked about, I'm going to actually edit this right here. This is Jen's cell. 972-342-5933. That's my cell phone. I'm going to make it pretty here. Just one second. I can't pick up the phone very often because, you know, I'm always talking. However, I can easily answer a text message. So if you want to shoot a text message over to me, what I'd recommend is those of you that are on the call or listening to the recorded call later, send me a text message now with your name and your region. And just say, Ferguson day and night, this is my name, this is my region. Let me save your number into my phone so it's easy for me to be able to respond in the future if you have questions. But shoot a text over. If I'm in flight, I'll answer as soon as I land. Our goal is to help you guys close. We want to help you bring on new dealers that, you know, make the commitment to hit those sales goals, as well as help your existing dealers that you have increase their sales year over year over year. And you guys will know. I mean, I can usually tell within a matter of minutes. I can look at a client or a company's website and their digital presence, and I can tell you whether they're growing or not. I can tell you if their numbers are stagnant. I can tell you if they're probably moving backwards, because it's all related. Those companies that are doing big business have a series of things they do well online. They all do. They have a series of processes that they implement. They also, year over year over year, continue to do more of what works, reallocate what's not working to something that does, which means they can't stay the same, they can't keep doing the same thing, and they look for what's next. What am I supposed to be doing I'm not doing yet? And they keep adding and keep adding and keep adding. So part of this, yes, we want to get them enrolled in the program, but those dealers that are, you know, pushing that corner and they're hitting year 3, you want to keep them enrolled. And keeping them enrolled means we need to start having those conversations about what progress means, what it requires. Progress requires us to do something different. We can't keep doing the same thing year over year over year and expect, you know, bigger and better results. They've got to keep increasing, keep increasing, keep increasing. So as those installations are taking place, as their phone is ringing and as they're converting new business, they need to allocate a percentage of that to doing other things. When you guys get to a point where you've got, if they've got accrual funds they need to use, you know, skip the shirts, skip the prints, skip the banners. Well, there are simple things we can do that are one-shot wonders that are going to help them create permanent results for their business. Invested in content, that's permanent. Invested in video, that's permanent. Invested in a pay-per-call program where if they've got a couple $1,000 or $1,000 and they say, I want phone calls, I want to use this money for phone calls, that's a great way to use the money as well. We've got an incredible pay-per-call, not click, program where they can say, I want to have X number of phone calls. If we've got ads running in those areas and we can generate phone calls, that's an easy way. So it's not just this program. We can help them with a lot of different things. First things first, just got to get involved. With that, let me see if do we have questions coming in, Miss Kathy? All right. Do any
Jennifer?
of you? Yes, ma'am.
So far, we do not have any questions. I think everyone is doing pretty well at this point.
All right. Fantastic. So if you guys have questions and don't want to put them in the chat, feel free to shoot us an email. You can email Ferguson@ciwebgroup.com. Ask your questions. If you've got a specific dealer you want us to set a meeting with, to run reports for, and not call them. We won't call them if you just ask us to run reports. you know, that's hopefully where your support that's here for you. And I think that is it. You guys, let's make this a killer year. If you go back to those sales leads, that's huge. Imagine if we were to take 21 dealers up to 80 dealers this year participating in the program. I think that's a great goal. And imagine what that would do to your bottom line and the bottom line sales for day and night. This is a really great opportunity. So if you have any questions or need anything, shoot me a text, send us an email. Pat is on as well. He's on mute, but he's here, and he's here to help you guys get your dealers in the program. And we all know how important it is to make sure that we're part of your sales process, part of your onboarding process, and part of your team that helps get these dealers to move to day and night or increase their sales. That's our job. So with that, thanks so much to everyone for attending. Appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side.